red. I am blue. You are bright and shiny in my mind. You got me loving, hating, crazy indecision in my mind.
Welcome to the Fall Podcast, where the focus is on deer hunting, tips, tricks, tactics, and stories from across the Midwest. And now, here is your host, Aaron Blasey.
Welcome to the Fall Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Blasey, and this is episode number 83. And if you guys can't tell from my voice, I am sick and I don't feel good. No, I feel fine, but I'm sick. I got a lot of head pressure. Cold's hit me pretty hard. And I'm recording this from a hotel room in Iowa. Tomorrow is opening day for me in Iowa, and the last couple days, Zach and I have shot a short film. I've got Zach Sutherland on with me today, and he's our creative director at Rusted Rooster, and we've been shooting a short film, and we actually recorded this a couple days ago when we got into Iowa. So today I'm doing the intro for this, and I'm going to pick up Casey later today at the airport, and him and I are going to be hunting Iowa the rest of the week. So can't wait. He's going to be behind me over the shoulder for the first time in a while. But role reversal, I'm actually hunting, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Today, I like I said, I have Zach on, and Zach, he's a native from Kentucky, and he is going after a couple big deer in Kentucky, and he actually went down for the opener and went after him and had some tough luck, but he's going to stay after it. He actually did lay eyes on one of the deer and figured out a spot where the deer had moved and didn't really expect the deer to be there. So pretty cool little story. Hopefully we'll be able to follow it until he has a conclusion on that, I'm hoping. So, and hopefully it's a good conclusion. So I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, but like I said, you guys, you're probably going to hear some coughs in this episode. I'm like hacking up a lung, and I'm just struggling over here. Got a runny nose, coughing, and just struggling. But it's a good episode. It's a shorter one, and just trying to get you guys an update. It's fall. Things are busy, and we're hunting, and I'm excited. We're in Iowa, land of the giants, and we're hunting. So thanks for listening, and hopefully you guys enjoy this one. All right, we are live. We are in a hotel room somewhere in the middle of, well, not in the middle. We're way west Iowa right now. I can't even pronounce the city. Where are we at?
Mondamin?
Mondamin.
I'm not sure. One of the two.
So that sultry southern draw that you hear on the other end of this is Zach Sutherland. We just rolled into town on our horse and buggy. We've been driving for 10.5 hours today. And as you can tell with my voice, I'm a little under the weather, sick. Been coughing all day. And I honestly think Iowa does it to me because Zach and I, we're coming out here. It's Friday, so we're recording this on Friday night. Tomorrow and Sunday, we're filming a short film. And then Casey's flying in on Monday when you guys will be listening to this. And I'm hunting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the last time I was in Iowa filming Casey, I had the same cold, cough, everything. Like I'm just drinking severe Dayquil like it's alcohol and taking Airborns and vitamin C and cough drops to try to get this out of my system. But I just feel like it knows when the fall's here, So, but today I got Zach on here, and we're going to talk a little bit about his early season Kentucky hunt, and then we're going to get into this upcoming week in Iowa and kind of expectations and everything. So, before we get started here, though, I want you to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and what you do and why you're even here with me, I guess.
Yeah. So Zach Sutherland, like Aaron said. I am the creative director over at Rusted Rooster Media. I've been in the outdoor industry for a while. Worked for Risen Media, helped produce Hallowed Ground Outdoors, Full Draw Adventures, and have worked with Sitka and Matthews quite a bit, and helped with some branding for a lot of companies. So AB and I are out here trying to knock out a short film and make the most out of our time and get him in a tree stand come October 1st.
I can't wait, man. There's a heavy cold front coming here this week in Iowa, and I'm super stoked about it. It's supposed to be high at 80 on Monday, and then by Wednesday it's supposed to be down of high at 60. So, I mean, that's a pretty big drop. So Zach's been, chasing some pretty big deer this summer, keeping a close eye on them. He's from Kentucky, Stamping Ground, Kentucky, right?
Yep.
Stamping
Population of about 500.
Yep.
Nice little small town.
Big thoroughbred area, right?
Oh, yeah.
For horses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Horses run everything
Yep.
down there.
So he's from Kentucky. He's moved up here. How long you been at Rooster now?
Like 7 months.
7 months. So
Yep.
he's been at Rooster for 7 months,
Yep.
and he lives up here now, and glad to have him here for sure. But he's got to split time with, doing work here, but then he's got to go back home to hunt too. And tell us a little bit about the deer that you've been been keeping a close eye on this summer to try to get after the opener.
For sure. So this season's pretty weird for me. This is pretty much my only year I've had where I'm not on the farm like 100%. Living in Michigan, I'm not able to keep my eyes on everything as tight as I used to. But with that said, I also lost one of my main properties this year. And with that, kind of trying to make do with what I have. And this summer, kind of didn't have as high of hopes as what I thought or what I have in the past. And ended up getting a deer, big mainframe 10-pointer.
Big deer.
Yeah, probably pushing, I don't know, I'd say 160 or so.
Yeah.
It might be bigger, but I'd say 160 conservatively. And anyway, I went down, what was that, probably a month ago, the weekend before season opened on September 7th, and got new stand hung. Looked at the extended forecast, had a north wind coming in, and my main set in that spot's for a south. So anyway, got a stand hung. Decided to glass for a couple days from a distance, and that 10 was doing the same thing every day. He was hopping the fence onto my property and walking right past the stand that I had just hung. And I had to leave to go to Mississippi for a shoot in the meantime before season opened, and get back with hopes that I'm going to shoot this deer open night, and ended up seeing one doe at last light. Come to find out that once this deer shed, he basically vanished, and still to this day not really sure where he went. We have 800 to 1,000 consecutive acres and have cameras all over it, and he has not shown his face since he shed out on any of them. But with that said, we have a 8-pointer that's probably around the 140 range, and after he shed, found out where he went, and it was about the last place I expected. So my parents live on our thoroughbred farm, and that's about the main place I'm hunting right now, with me losing one of my pieces of ground. And that 8-point after he shed moved probably a half a mile and is hanging out like 200 yards behind my parents' place. So kind of an odd spot for him, but hopefully that 10's going to show up back there. All the corn just got cut, so that is definitely going to help things. There's I don't know, I'd say pushing 1,000 acres of corn like right around my place, and all of it's cut. So all those deer should be funneling onto my ground because we have a ton of food. So
I guess going back, in the summer when you discovered these two deer.
Yep.
Now, what's your game plan in the summer? How do you get intel? I mean, Kentucky's a bait state, so are you Are you throwing out corn? Are you,
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely do put out corn. Not my the way I have noticed deer activity on corn though and on bait. Every time they come into it, they're weary, and that is even if they come into the corn. Your mature deer usually hang back and let the does and fawns filter in and kind of see how they're acting before the wow, can't talk tonight. Jeez, before those mature deer come into the bait. But anyway, so during the summer, my main thing is just glassing from a distance because my main piece of ground now is primarily field. So, I mean, with those deer being weary coming into bait, I mean, there's a chance that they're not going to walk in front of that camera.
Right.
So me glassing from a distance is about the only way to have accurate intel on these bucks.
So you're utilizing bait throughout the summer. And, with you guys opening the first week of September all the time, you guys have a pretty good opportunity to, kill a velvet deer.
Yep.
Have you ever killed a velvet deer?
I have not. I try to plan to every year, but usually I get tied into filming the first sit of the year, and that's usually about the best chance to kill one. So kind of takes the odds into other people's hands. So
Right. Well, and, you thought you could get on this 10. Did this 10 shed out before the opener this year, or was he still involved?
So when I checked cameras when I got back from Mississippi, my 8 and the 10 weren't on the camera past Wednesday of that week, and I left on Monday. And anyway, had no idea where they went. I was just assuming that they shed out. And then I only had like 3 days to hunt down there. And then the last day of my hunt, checked that spot right behind my parents' house, and sure enough, that 8 had moved right back there. So I'm assuming that 10 shed while I was gone. And
so where did he move? Like, is he going? Where was he before when you were getting all of his all the pictures?
Yeah, so we have 2 big alfalfa fields, probably a total of 30 acres, right down on a pretty big creek, and that's where they hang out all summer. I mean, if they are still in velvet come the opener, I mean, it's pretty much a sure thing to get one shot. But after he shed, he ended up moving, like I said, probably a half mile to the north. And to get there, I mean, he literally had to walk through a half mile of just open fields to get to the next section of timber.
Is he going to that timber, though? Is that like a good bedding area, or is that like a secluded spot? Like, why is he wanting to go over there?
That spot is not pressured at all. So those alfalfa fields where that creek is, there's a ton of public access to that.
Okay.
And people are kayaking and canoeing down it all the time.
So he probably just got pressured out of it.
Yep.
I got
And
you.
I mean, that kind of tends to happen every year, and we haven't really known where the deer went. And we have, back behind my parents' place, we have an alfalfa field back there, but where it's so close to the house, I never thought that the deer would, like, move back there,
Right.
just because it's an odd spot. And our neighbor's house, I mean, you can see it's 200 yards from my stand that I hung back there.
Yep.
And these deer are just filtering right out into this alfalfa now. But that spot back there isn't pressured at all. I mean, they cut hay off of the neighbor's property back there, but I mean, that's it. And there's not a ton of human activity there.
Yep.
And there's a little section of timber that the deer just bedding up in and then filtering into our field.
I got you. So as of like today, are those 2 deer still alive right now, that 8 and that 10?
Yeah, that 8 is literally showing up every night at like 7 o'clock. I plan to be going back down on the 4th and try getting him shot if that 10 doesn't show back up. I'm assuming the 10 is still alive. I know about everybody that hunts in my area, and that's definitely a deer that would be shared with about everybody. So,
Right. Well, good deal. One thing that I do want to bring up is, you're hunting early season in Kentucky. I mean, it's hotter than hell all the time in Kentucky, I feel like.
Yes, it is.
But, when you go down there and you're hunting the opener.
Yep.
I mean, it's in the 90s, right?
Oh, yeah. Opening weekend this year, heat index was pushing 100.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it was toasty.
So what are you doing with your scent control to even just keep a minute little bit of scent control? Because I feel like once it gets that hot,
oh
there
yeah,
is no scent control.
No,
you throw it right out the window.
Yeah, I mean, there's like nothing you can do at that point. But I mean, luckily this year it's kind of unlike other years. We actually had wind this year, so that helped. Usually it's pretty dang still this time of year.
Yeah.
And I mean, your thermals are freaking dropping right in on those deer when they come in the evenings. But usually, I mean, I walk in and don't have my long sleeve shirt on. I mean, I have my t-shirt on, trying to stay as cool as possible. And I mean, this year I tried out some nose jammer just to see what that did for me.
Boy, does that smell good.
Oh yeah, it's
Nose
like
jammer
cologne.
smells great.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, just spray it all over you. But anyway, had pretty good success with that. I mean, you can sit there and spray down 1,000 times when you're in the tree, but you're continually sweating. So, I mean, it really doesn't do anything for you, I feel like. I mean, your clothes are drenched from sweat when it's 100 degrees regardless. So.
Are you still keeping your clothes in like an airtight container?
Yeah,
all that stuff?
I have an ozone bag that I keep all my clothes in.
Yep.
So, yep.
How much are you, like, let's say you go out for an evening hunt, because you're probably not hunting mornings typically early season.
Not this time of year, no.
So,
not until it cools off.
Let's say you go out and hunt an evening and you just, sweat to beat heck.
Yep.
Are you washing your clothes every night? Are you hanging them on the clothesline to dry out overnight? Like, what's your plan?
So I'll usually leave my clothes out overnight, and then come the morning, I'll just spray them down with some scent killer.
Yep.
And then throw them back in my bag, and they're usually pretty good to go for the next evening.
And then you're hitting them with some ozone in the ozone bag or something?
Oh, yeah. Yep, for sure.
I got you.
For sure, yep. I just tend to stay away from washing my clothes a ton because I don't want it to deteriorate anything. So.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, and that's something. I mean, even during the season too. I mean, you get October days that are really warm too, and there's times where you sweat all the time.
Oh yeah.
And it's just tough, and you got to be extra cautious of what you're doing and taking care of your clothes and everything, just to stay on point and just try to stay one step ahead of those deer. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what is your game plan going? You're going to go back down on October 4th.
Yep.
And you got a good cold front coming too.
I have a killer cold front coming in. So
what's your game plan right now, thinking ahead before you go down there with the intel you have right now?
Yep. So looking at the weather, have a really good cold front pushing through this coming Thursday. I don't even know what the date is. I think that's like the 2nd. Does that sound right?
No.
No?
That would be the 3rd, because the 1st is that's Tuesday.
Yep, right. And you will be hunting a stand in Iowa.
I will.
Yep. Yeah, so have a front pushing through on the 3rd. Supposed to be 90 all week at home, and then this front's pushing through, and the highs are going to be topping out like right around 70. And looking at a north wind right now, and that spot back behind my parents' place is set up for the north wind. So my plan is just to slip in there Friday evening when I get back down and get the sucker killed. I mean, he's every night in there. So, I mean, there's times where he's pushing daylight a little bit, but with this front pushing through, I think it's going to get him on his feet a little earlier.
So you know that he's coming through there right now every day?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I had one of my buddies just check the camera the other day, and, I mean, it is like clockwork every night. I mean, it's within 15 minutes each other every day. So
with that cold front coming, are you going to even mess around with morning hunting, or are you going to keep it to evening?
No, I mean, where he's coming in the evening, I'm not going to go in there and pressure it in the morning and just risk bumping him. Because, I mean, he's on the edge of daylight every morning, and I don't want to go in there and bump him out when I think I can go in there in the evening and just get him killed and get out of there. So
for sure. So tell me this. You got the 8 point and you got the 10 point, both at 20 yards feeding Which one are you killing?
Oh, that 10's getting shot regardless.
Don't do that.
Oh no, that 10's getting that. Yeah, he's a big old deer for our area.
He is a big deer. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, a lot of the deer around where I'm at top out right around that 150 range. It's just kind of genetics for there. So anytime you get anything over that, I mean, you're doing something pretty special. So.
Yep. Well, good deal, man. I'm excited for you. Hopefully you can get in there and get something down and even just get a glimpse at him. Hopefully, maybe make a move on him and get one of them killed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, opening weekend, I did end up seeing that 8 my last sit before I had to come back to the office. So he locked up on me at 100 yards, and
I forgot about that.
Yeah, just went back to bed.
Yep.
So
you stunk.
Yeah, I mean, it was
100
degrees. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can try doing everything you can, but I mean, it's 100, and I mean that night the wind was blowing like 2 mile an hour, so I was just screwed regardless.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
What do you do though? What do you do? You just gotta.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. I mean, there's nothing you can do at that point.
Right.
I mean, you've already stunk it up. You might as well sit there the rest of the night and you might get lucky, but
for sure. Well, good deal. Like I said, man, I hope you get on them there and.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's good.
For sure.
I'm super pumped for this week though.
Yeah, I mean,
and I should be.
Yeah, I mean, you're hunting Iowa. I mean, what's there not to be excited about?
Oh man, I'm jacked. You know, I've been talking to Chad. Chad's a guy that we hunt with down here, Midwest Antler Company. Been a really good friend of Chris and Casey's for a long time, and you know, just kind of lets us take over a couple farms and when we draw tags, and I'm super pumped about it because he hasn't checked cameras in 2 months. He told me today on the drive here, he's been glassing from a distance.
Yep.
And, you know, keeping tabs on the couple pretty good bucks. And but he has not checked cameras, and I'm super pumped. So, you know, you and I've got this shoot on Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm going to drop you off at the Des Moines Airport.
Old Des Moines.
On Sunday, yep. And I'm heading to Chad's, and I'm going to glass Sunday night. And then Chad and I are going to go. I'm going to glass Monday morning, and then him and I are going to go check cameras. Do a quick camera check. It's supposed to be raining on Monday and Tuesday.
Yep, that'll be a good chance to go in there where he hadn't been in there in a couple months. So.
Yeah, get in there, and hopefully the scent, you know, doesn't wash away and we don't kick a lot of stuff around. And then I got to pick up Casey midday back to Des Moines Airport, pick him up. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are in a stand. And I'm excited. I mean, Tuesday, the opener, there's 80% chance of rain right now. No, I'm sorry, 60% chance of rain. But we do have some banks blinds on some food plots that we can get into, and that might be what we try to do first.
Regardless, you need to be in a tree or something.
I got to get in a tree.
I mean, you have Iowa tag. You need to put your time in.
That's the thing. I got Iowa tag. I got 4 days in this first hunt, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to come back yet.
Yeah.
So get in there and try to get one killed. And, you know, you were asking me today on the drive up here what my criteria was going to be, like if I'm going to hold out or, you know, what I'm going to do. You know, and I was kind of explaining that I've got an Iowa tag. I got a Kansas archery tag. Casey's got a Kansas archery tag. So I'm not going to be too picky, but, you know, my biggest deer is 130-inch deer. So I would really like to get something a little bigger than that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A 4-year-old, you know, usually, and try to kill something, you know, 130 plus.
Yep.
So if something comes in like that, and, you know, good light, good to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's gonna eat.
I'm gonna throw a ramcat through it, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
I'm excited. No, hopefully we get a chance to see some deer. Like I said, that cold front's coming through, and it should have deer up and moving. I mean, the mornings are supposed to be 40 degrees, and it's only supposed to be getting up to 60, 64, 65, somewhere around there as highs. So 4 days, get in a stand, get it done, and hopefully it works out. I mean, it's supposed to be, I think it's going to be like overcast, like kind of dreary all week, but
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I don't mind hunting in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Because
What's the moon phase looking like?
moon's actually looking good. So there's a full moon on the 12th, and I have a moon guide, and the peak movement times on Tuesday. The peak movement time is 3:25. On Wednesday, it moves up to just after 4 o'clock, I believe.
Yep.
And then, Thursday, it's like a little after 5. And then Friday, it's like right there at prime time. So peak movement times, if you guys are out there that, do look at the moon phase and everything, that's something I do look at. It's nothing I don't really, if it's not a good moon, it's not something I'm like, I'm not going to go hunt.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is
For
something
sure.
I just like to look at.
Yeah, definitely.
So everything's good, or everything's looking good that way.
Yep.
And so I'm excited about that.
So what are your plans in the morning since it's so early in the year?
Hunting. I am hunting. Well, a couple reasons. If this cold front that's coming and
Yep.
it's going to be 40 degrees in the morning, for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah.
But if it was like, if we're talking 80 degrees, mid 70s to 80 degree mornings, I probably wouldn't push in.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Are you just planning on hunting timber, catching them, going back to bed, or?
We actually have a couple spots that you look at that they're around the edge of fields, but the entry to them is so bulletproof that you can get into them and not spook anything out of the fields.
Yep.
So there's one spot Casey and I hunted 2 years ago. Sorry, when he was here, and we shot a good 8, and they're in the morning. And like I said, it's one of those spots, from aerial view that you look at and you're like, there's no way you're going to get in that in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you get in there and it starts cracking day, and there's just deer all over the field,
Really?
filtering back through the bedding or to bed, and it's like, holy cow. Like,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that might be an option, but yeah, typically timber,
Yeah.
transition zones,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
getting in early and trying to beat them.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's so hard to beat a buck back to bed.
Yep.
It's so hard.
Yep.
You got to
Yep.
get in really, really early, but it can be done, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, hunting hard for 4 days. We'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
what happens.
Good thing this time of year these deer haven't been pressured at all.
Not at all, man.
Yep.
They're still in groups a little bit right now,
Mhm.
and once I get over there Sunday and start glassing, we'll start laying some eyes on some bucks and really see what they're doing too.
Oh, yeah, get a game plan and get one shot.
Yeah, so that's the game plan, but we just want to get on here today, for about 30 minutes or so, and just kind of do a little update and let you guys know what we're doing, what we're up to. Chris and Adam are actually in Ohio. JB's actually there too, and Cody's going down there as well, and Keegan will be meeting them. So we got a full crew in Ohio, a lot of bucks
Oh, yeah.
in daylight right now
A lot
on
of
the
them.
Ohio farm.
A lot of them.
I think there's like 7 shooter bucks in daylight right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we just got done talking to Chris and Adam on the phone, and they are jacked. Tomorrow, Saturday, this is Friday, but Saturday starts Ohio season, and he's jacked. He's going to get in the stand, and I'm going to bet you one of those boys is going to kill one within the first 3 days.
Oh, yeah. They
with
should
as much
definitely.
daylight movement's going on right now.
They should have an opportunity, to say the least.
Yeah. The only thing that they do not have going for them is the temperature.
Yeah.
The temp's going to be in like the 80s.
Yeah. That
So-
front isn't going to be through there yet by
Nope.
the time they're
No.
done. So.
We're hitting the front. Casey and I are hitting the front here in Iowa like perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a couple days for them.
Yeah.
Because I think the front is going to hit Ohio on Wednesday.
Yeah, it should be right around when it's hitting back home in
Yep.
Kentucky for me.
Yep.
Yep.
So good luck to those boys for sure. And like I said, first couple days, I think they're going to have one of them is going to have an opportunity. So we'll keep you guys posted, and hopefully, when Casey gets here, maybe jump on a podcast with him and maybe get one up if we have some time in camp, in Iowa this week, and get one up for you guys and just kind of give you an update and let you guys know what's going on. So yeah, and thanks everybody for listening, and hopefully everybody has a great opening day, and hopefully everybody has a good season. So good luck to everybody out there, and Zach, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate you.
We'll have to do it again when you get one of those, that 8 or 10 down
Oh, yeah.
next week maybe.
Should be next weekend.
I'm I'm going to hold you to it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm shooting him if he steps out, so we'll see.
For sure. Hey, if everybody could go over to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating and leave some feedback, would be greatly appreciated. So thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.